circumstance to go. Leave me, run like you've never run before. A voice from the underground, given room to breathe, not but be drowned. So die if you get the chance. Better men than you've been left this dance to go. Leave me, run like you've never run before. I have seen the worst, and there is nothing left for me to hate, so I can lay me down, my brothers, on the ground. I bled today until Coyote comes to raise me up and carries me away to go. Leave me, run like you never did. No, believe me, run like you've never run before. Yeah.
Hello, welcome to the Scottish Rugby Podcast. We have a bit of an injury bug in camp this week, so we haven't managed a full episode, but we figured we'll blast a quick OnlyFins out for the Patreons ahead of a massive game this weekend. So you are most welcome to join us for the next 30 minutes or so. I'm Johnny McGinty. I am joined tonight by John Anderson. Good evening, John.
Evening, Johnny.
And Alan McDonald. Good evening.
Evening, Johnny. How you doing?
I've just realised I've done the thing that I'm always getting on at Manson for, but do you know what? It's a Patreon exclusive. Everybody knows it's a Friday night special, so I'm going to let myself away with it. Good week, gentlemen.
Yeah, it's been not bad. Not bad. It's been busy. It's run up to our first gig in 2 months on Saturday, so it's been a full-on practice week. So yeah, but ready to go and looking forward to it.
Good, Mr. McDonald.
Aye, well, I'm glad it's Friday. Let's just leave it at that.
That sounds awfully familiar. As I say, a quick blast through. Only one game this weekend, but it's a big one. All Blacks come to Murrayfield tomorrow afternoon, 3:10 kickoff. What I wish Irish and Welsh people would stop saying is Scotland's best chance to beat the All Blacks and stop mentioning the idea that we might be stuck on winners, because I feel like me and this Mr. Edward Jenkins are going to fall out very soon if I hear any more of that nonsense. But we do have a bit of a tasty clash to look forward to tomorrow afternoon, so we're going to quickly take you through. We'll have a look at both teams. We'll have a look at how the game might go, and then we'll have a quick prediction, and we'll get you out of here in time that everyone should be able to catch it up, have a listen, a watch, whatever you want to do before the game starts. We will start, I think, by looking at the visitors. At first glance, this could be the greatest All Blacks team of the modern era, but purely because it was the most unintelligible team sheet I think I've ever seen in my life when it went up on Instagram yesterday. Took me a good 2 minutes of solid looking at it to try and decipher who's actually playing. But we have the good news. 2/3 of rugby's most infuriating family got well into truly Ireland did last week. So no Geordie Barrett, no Scott Barrett. Bowden Barrett survives despite getting a face full of Ty Byrne's shoulder in Chicago last Saturday. So he plays 10. We've got Ethan de Groot, Cody Taylor, Fletcher Newell, Josh Lord and Fabian Holland in the second row, Wallace Satiti, Ardy Sevilla, Peter Lakai in the back row, Cam Roygard and Bowden Barrett, 9 and 10, Quinn Tupaya, Lester Fayanganuku in the centres, Caleb Clark and Leroy Carter on the wings, and Will Jordan at fullback. It's not the shittest All Blacks team of all time, John, is it?
Yeah, I mean, there's no such thing as a shit All Blacks team, is there? But, I mean, there's some pretty tasty names in there. And, yeah, like, I do wonder, as you say, you know, certain fans are getting a wee bit excited about, oh, this is our best chance to beat the All Blacks. Well, maybe, but that's still a pretty fucking formidable team. And the unfortunate thing for us, and I think obviously we'll touch on this more as we chat through, but I think they're strong in the areas that we're weakest. And that's what's going to, that might be a big, well, it will be a big problem for us.
Yeah. Alan, it's maybe not, it's not the Galacticos All Blacks that we're used to seeing, but there's talent in pretty much every position, isn't there? I mean, it's still the All Blacks at the end of the day.
Yeah, I mean, an All Black's an All Black. They're maybe not in the imperious phase that we're used to seeing them in, but they're still a New Zealand rugby team. And you know, there's been lots of times where we said, oh, they're weak this time. And they have played weakened teams against us, but the problem is we've got close to them when they played their weakened teams. So I don't think they're doing that anymore. You know, I don't think that. I think they're a bit like, we're not chancing it.
Yeah,
I think we've seen stronger and stronger All Blacks teams as we've gone on, and this probably is, other than anything enforced by injury, the strongest team that they're able to put out. I think for the autumn this year. I think you know, we can say all we want about them; they are still the All Blacks, but at the end of the day, we want to talk about Scotland. We'll have a quick look through the Scotland team. We'll maybe mark them up in position, see how we're feeling. We'll rip the Band-Aid off just to start with, because we will start with the front row. No Xander Fagerson. That is a massive, massive, massive issue for Scotland. I think, you know, Finn Russell probably is, definitely is, depending who you ask, the best player at the moment. But I think the most important player for Scotland still is Xander. Missing him is going to be a massive issue. We've got Truman, Ewan Ashton, Darcy Ray in the front row, Scott Cummings, Greg second row, Gregor Brown, Matt Fagerson, Jack Dempsey in the back row, all Glasgow back row, and then Ben White and Finn Russell are halfback. Sione Tuipulotu, Rory Hutchinson in the centres. We'll obviously talk about the decision at 13. The other massive decision I think we're going to need to talk about is in the back three. Kyle Steyn, Darcy Graham, and Blair Kinghorn. Alan, we'll start with the front row, I guess. How are we feeling?
Oh, cheers. Throw to me for the front row, aye. I think I summed it up this morning. Fear of a Zanderless future. And no props, no platform. I said that about the last Edinburgh game. I worry it's going to be the same this time. However, I suppose we do have precedent of less than stellar props playing a blinder against the All Blacks. Take a bow,
Super
Mr. Marfo.
You take Daryl Marfo's name out your goddamn mouth.
I mean, that was amazing here, apart from anything else. But
really awkward. That's what it was.
Do you know, I used to actually like style and brush my hair before going out to play loose head prop. Quite what I thought I was doing.
I honestly thought you were about to say I used to have hair like Daryl Marfo, and I was going to demand some sort of evidence of that.
I did have a sort of Vanilla Ice style quiff 3 inches off the top of my head. And fortunately, very few photographs exist of that because no one wanted to take any. I can't think funny.
Get a photo of that must get posted.
John, we'll stay in the forwards. I think possibly one area where the All Blacks looked shaky on Saturday night in Chicago, where Scotland I think might fancy getting after them, is the line out. Scott Cummings took a lot of stick for the Argentina game, but to my mind, certainly on defensive lineouts was one of the better options the Lions had in the summer. I think he'll fancy it. I think Gregor Brown will fancy it. A lot of people saying possibly Max Williamson would have been a better bet in there alongside him rather than Grant Gilchrist. How are we feeling about the second row and the lineout options?
Yeah, I think Gilchrist's in there for experience, isn't he? He's in there because he's done this so many times before. And let's not forget, he is a very good line-out operator, given, other limitations in his game. I think him and Cummings actually work really well together. I do agree with you. I think Cummings is in there. I think Brown's been picked as well to really target that line-out. That probably, he's probably a much better operator in the line-out than some of the other options at 6. So, yeah, I think the thing about Cummings that's really, I've been noticing it recently, and he's always had a wee line break in him, but he seems to be really kind of starting to carry with intent quite often round the fringes, which is great to see. He looks quite fit, he looks pacey, and yeah, he's got his basics really nailed down. So it feels like the Lions, often guys come back for the Lions and we go, what have you done to them? You've broken them. You've turned Tommy Seymour into a non-try scoring winger. Why did you break him? Cummings seems to be one of these players who has went away, seems to have learned a lot, and looks a better player already in the short amount of game time he's had this season.
Yeah, he certainly is looking like he's made a bit of a difference. So I think he's someone who'll fancy himself for a really big game tomorrow afternoon. Alan, I'm going to use one of your own phrases against you here, because obviously Gregor Brown is a superb line-out operator. We've got Rory Darge on the bench. We've got no mention of JB Ritchie at all. Has Gregor Brown got the BQ to be played against the All Blacks?
I'm increasingly, I'm thinking Gregor Brown has the everything. I think he's he played in the second row against France and showed up well. I think you can't do that if you don't have the BQ. And by the way, it's only Finns, so I think we can probably call it bastard quotient. It's not good.
I think Johnny was just trying
to maintain an air of mystery, Alan.
Keep it classy.
But I think I think he's got that. But he also is, we saw his offload to George Horn. He's got hands that do dishes that are as soft as your face, I think he is the whole package.
Whose face? Who's got
none of ours? No one's got a soft face around here.
Distinct lack of soft faces around here, Alan.
I moisturise and condition.
You've probably got the softest face out of the lot of us by the look of it. Yeah.
I love how you made that sound like an insult.
Well, you soft-faced wanker.
Yeah, fucking turning up in his braces, the soft-faced wanker.
You and your braces and your soft face.
Listen, if I was to bend over to pick something up, you'd be grateful I was wearing braces. Otherwise, someone would come up and try and park a bicycle.
All right, we'll move into the backs. I think, no surprise, the standout last week was Jamie Dobie. I think a few people fancied him for the start this week, but back to Ben White, I think he's possibly got a little bit more experience. He's at, you'd argue, a higher level possibly than Dobie is. Plus, we're persistent with this fucking 6'2", and Jamie Dobie is more versatile off the bench than Ben White is. So we're back to Ben at scrum half. Finn, obviously, at 10. He's another player, John, like you say about the Lions, who's come back absolutely firing, has now seems to have finally got people accepting that he might well be the best player in the world. As I was going to say, a very wise man, as a distinctly unwise man once said to me, it's amazing what he could do when he's not behind a pack of forwards getting their heads shoved up their arse. Is that going to be an issue for him, do you think, John, tomorrow afternoon?
Yes. I think it might be an issue, actually. I do fear for the Scotland pack tomorrow. I think that's kind of what I was indicating when I think the All Blacks have got a very kind of experienced, particularly in the front row. You know, these guys have been about, know what they're all about, and we might find ourselves in trouble up there. I think Darcy Ray, I was going to make a joke at the start of this that, you know, I've been called up due to availability issues. I've been called up from the 5th team to come and join tonight, just like Darcy Ray. But it's a problem. But I think 5 years ago, Finn Russell, in that situation, I would have been really worried. I am less worried about it because I think Finn, you know, there is ways we can get ball as long as we don't get absolutely penalised off the park in the forwards. So I think that's the key. If we can get any sort of parity, ball in, ball out, and then Finn can work his magic from there. But yeah, it's a concern.
I think Darcy Bussell would do a better job at tight head than Darcy Ray.
I was trying to think of more famous Darcys. I'm glad you've got one.
Yeah, I haven't been on the podcast since the Jamie Batty incident at Glasgow the other day, but I did share with you on the chat that Genevieve suggested putting a cardboard cutout of Jamie Batty instead of the real one because the chances of him getting folded in half were less. That might also be true tomorrow.
Genuinely,
Alan
John,
will,
that must have been a proud father moment.
Yeah.
John, this is something you and I will always have to agree to disagree on because ever since I turned up to the trophy tour on the Tuesday afternoon when Glasgow won and Wombat had his sunglasses on because he was still pissed, he's been like very high up my list. And I said to him, because he was wondering about his sunglasses, it was not sunny, by the way. He was wondering about his sunglasses. And I said to him, Wombat, are you wearing those because you've got a hangover? And he said, not yet, but I will by about Thursday. And since then, I don't care how shit he is. He's brilliant.
I'm not
John,
suggesting...
Alan, sorry. One of the talking points, I suppose, and this one is an injury-enforced one because we've obviously got no Hugh Jones tomorrow. There were a few potential options for 13, or for the centres, certainly. We didn't know for sure that Sione was going to play 12. We've gone for Sione 12 and Rory Hutchinson at 13. Do you think that is the right choice? Is that what you would have gone for?
It's definitely what I would have gone for, and not just because we can use Shoney and Hutch as a sort of reference to.
You can't, and that's £1 in the Doddy jar, please.
That's grand. I think if I put 3, we'll call it a £5 for tonight in total for tonight. Just this.
Stick a couple in the bank just in case.
Yeah, you put preloading your debt here.
I think we have to deal in the realms of realism. In fact. Just to show you the colours of money.
Yeah, good. Get it in, because once we get to the bench, I know for a fact you're going to need it.
I've never seen a red fiver before, Alan.
You can't get the dies up here, Johnny, but fortunately.
Mate, I know, right?
Hutch has been tearing up trees, to be fair, for Saints. He's obviously familiar with the new defence coach. He's a great distributor. He's a good kicker. He's a great finisher. He's probably as close as we have to Hugh Jones, with Hugh Jones not being available.
I think that's right. I think this is the closest we have to a slot in for our Jones at 13, and I think he's a better slot in at 13 than say Stafford would be for Shoney at 12, because Stafford can do lots of what Shoney can do, but he doesn't have the hands, he doesn't have the distribution game. He's got a better long kicking game and things, but the drop off is sharper. So I think a pacey outside centre, that's how we've been set up. That's the patterns we tend to run. He can also play 12, so there's options about mixing it up and Shoney popping up in the outside channel and things. So keeping people guessing.
Yeah, I would agree, and I think probably even Gregor Townsend is smart enough to know that kicking long to Will Jordan is not what we want to be doing. So putting Stafford in there just because he can kick longer probably doesn't make a lot of sense. John, we're going to move to the back three. We will smugly sit here and say that Townsend has finally said something that both of us have been saying for quite a long time, which is that he just flat out came out this week and said Kyle Steyn is playing better than Duhan van der Merwe. Is that going to come back to bite us, or is this a masterstroke?
I think tomorrow it's a masterstroke. I think tomorrow the game's not won by individual bouncing off five players and going in from halfway. Tomorrow it's going to be a grind. We're going to have to work hard. We're going to have to defend really well, and that New Zealand back three is absolutely lethal. So picking your best defensive winger, and I'm coming straight out and saying that Kyle Steyn is the best defensive winger we have available to us across the piece. That's a very sensible approach. I'd also argue Kyle Steyn's the form winger in Scotland at the moment. He's come back from injury and he just looks... He's one of these players that despite him getting that bit older, he just comes back and he looks stronger, he looks faster. He talked before he went, after his last injury, he went away and he worked on his pace. He was doing sprint training. It's amazing the work he's put into it, but also he's game smart. He's so sensible with what he does. He doesn't have the stupid moments that we can see from Duhan occasionally. Less so Darcy Graham. Darcy's probably, from an attacking perspective, Darcy's still our top weapon, but he doesn't have just the defensive capability that Kyle Steyn does. Steyn is, and I think probably playing 13 as well, because I know there was chat about potentially Steyn coming in at 13 this week, and then Darcy Graham and Duhan on the wing. And I don't think that would have been a bad option. I think he's learned so much from that time at 13. His defensive work improved from that time. I think he's just an all-round player. He's just a terrific player. Plus, he's got that leadership aspect, which hopefully they rely on tomorrow as well.
Yeah, I think we'll come back to the last member of the back three, because I think we really need to mention the fact, we've talked about the Lions, but we need to talk about the fact that going other places could also help your career massively. But before we do, we've mentioned how versatile Kyle Steyn is. I think we need to quickly go on to the fact that we have two versatile backs on the bench in Jamie Dobie and Tom Jordan. Both rapid, both could play a number of positions, both at the top of their game at the moment. If it comes to the fact that we're relying on the bench, Alan, we're in a pretty good position.
I think that's right. We've even got Josh Bayliss on the bench, which at a pinch, if Ben White gets injured, Dobie has to come on at the scrum half, and then the winger gets injured. Bayliss spends a lot of time as an edge forward at Bath, is seriously rapid. I could see him finishing out, doing a job in the wing if he had to. So I think we have that kind of versatility. I mean, obviously not Richie Vernon versatility, but still a degree of options. And I think with Steyn on the wing, that means between him, Jordan and Dobie, we have every back line position covered if we need to do something. If Hutchinson gets injured, then Steyn shifts to 13, Dobie comes on the wing. There are a serious degree of options despite only having two players.
Yeah, I still don't think that Scotland should ever be doing a 6-2, but I think if you are going to do a 6-2, Tom Jordan and Jamie Dobie are the ones you want. That's some serious firepower in a number of positions. We will round it out on the Scotland team, John. I've given you the chance to brag on a couple of great calls. I'm going to make you walk something back a little bit. Has there ever been anyone in the last few years at Scotland who has had such an explosion in their career as Blair Kinghorn did go to France? Because he is phenomenal, is he not?
Yes. He's a terrific player. He's a very talented, and that's the thing. Actually, we knew he was a very talented fullback.
Yeah, I think it's fair for me and you to say we never said that Kinghorn was shit. We said playing him at 10 was a shit idea.
Yeah, Yeah, I think I might have strayed into the territory of I don't think he is a 10, and I think that he's not a very good 10. Might have been as far as I went. But I never said he was a shit player. maybe. Okay, we'll see. We'll see.
You know what? You find your receipts, McDonald, and we'll happily take it back. But I don't think we ever said that. I think we said he. I think we said he.
Do you seriously want to annoy me enough that I'm going to go through past pods? Do you seriously want to risk that?
Said he doesn't play well at 10. He's not a 10, and we shouldn't be playing him at 10. But I don't think we ever said he wasn't a good player. Having said that,
I'm not sure you said that.
As he is now.
I think Johns might have said it, but playing him at 10 has made him a better 15 for Scotland because of how we use our 15.
Away.
No,
I'm not. I will never concede any ground at all to the Blair Switch project ever, because it was one of the fucking worst ideas that Townsend has ever come up with, and that's a long fucking list, by the way. But he is an excellent fullback, and he's become a world-class fullback since he went to Toulouse. He was brilliant for the Lions. He's amazing for Toulouse, and he's like a different player now
because of his playmaking game that he learned when he was shoehorned into 10.
I'm not having it. You can try all you want.
I think what Kinghorn's really worked on as he's went away is that composure. I think that was the thing from a playmaking perspective. The problem I had with him was he made stupid decisions at the wrong time, and he threw passes he shouldn't be throwing, and he seemed to, you could argue it's inexperience, right? He was never an experienced 10, so you're going to make those mistakes, but you can't make those mistakes when you're wearing the blue of Scotland against big teams. It's just not going to work, right?
Did Finn not do that as well, though?
He did, but he wasn't also the best fullback we had available to us at the time. So had Finn Russell, being a world-class fullback, then absolutely let's dig into that. But Kinghorn was an experienced player at the time who came into a shirt that was very different to what he was used to playing, and he was average at best. That's where he was, and he's went out to France. He's worked on his composure. He's worked on his ability. His confidence is through the roof. His ability to back himself is what always set him apart at Edinburgh. And he is just another. You're absolutely right, Johnny, to call it that he's an example to every young player sitting in Scotland, in Glasgow and Edinburgh, and other clubs at the moment, going, I'm not really sure if I want to be out with the SRU Goldfish Bowl. I think I'll just Grant Gilchrist it and stay here my whole career. Don't. Go abroad, go learn your trade, go play. If you've got an opportunity to go play abroad, you'll be a much better player for it. So don't worry about the being looked after. Go and play some rugby. And I think it's so important to play back himself and have the confidence to do that, because it's funny that our two best players, Finn Russell, our two best players, Finn Russell and Blair Kinghorn, I would say Tuipulotu's got a challenge there.
And Zander? Zander's the most essential player.
I just find it remarkable that Zander's not in France. I still find it absolutely ludicrous that he's not, because
I think if it wasn't for the family, he would be. I think, and that's not to knock his family or anything. He's obviously very happy here. He's got a big young family. Him and his wife and like it here, and if that's what works for him, because he always looks really happy, then by all means keep him here, because he's a fantastic player. He's been looked after well. His family are happy, and we've seen way too many examples of players going abroad. And Rhys Webb was a great example. He went abroad. His family didn't like it. He was fucking miserable. He ended up fighting with people at Toulon and basically wrecked his whole career. So you have to take your personal circumstances into account. But I think it's been massive for Blair.
Sorry, John.
His career was finished before the drug test. Be serious.
Yeah, fair. So I agree with your point about players going away and think, has it harmed George Horne? I think so. Staying, did it harm Ali Price staying beyond? I think probably. I think Zander's probably the exception, given that he's our best tight head. He's doing great without having gone away, and actually being looked after matters a hell of a lot for Scotland for Zander.
Might be positional. You're absolutely right. So maybe we can, yes, Wood getting folded in half in the over in France, would that help Xander's career? Probably not. He plays internationals. He's played against these players. He knows how to scrummage. He's learned a lot. You're absolutely right. There's probably an element as well that you say he's our best tight head. He's pretty much our only bloody tight head. Let's be honest. So
that's my son's my favourite son. Yeah.
So yeah, I'm okay with us wrapping him in. Finn was a different conversation because obviously he had these familial issues with the SRU, which obviously exacerbated his exit from the bubble. But I think there is an element of where there's individuals who are incredibly talented. Get them away, let them experience different rugby. We always talk about how much they benefit from the Lions. Well, go and do that for 9 months of your year. Go and play with the best players in the world.
Do you know what? I'll Judas myself here, having been horrible to both of you as well. Backs do a lot less hard physical work on a game-to-game basis than forwards do. So going to play in France is a different proposition for Xander than it is for Finn or Blair Kinghorn. So we're happy enough with the backs on the bench. I think we're happy enough with the back line. The forwards on the bench, George Turner is back in now that he's back in this hemisphere. Rory Sutherland, Elliot Miller-Mills, Marshall Sykes, say it, Alan.
The psychopath.
Rory Darge and Josh Bayliss. How do we... I mean, that's a stronger bench of forwards than Scotland have had recently, you would say. Is it a strong enough bench, John, to compete with the All Blacks?
The bench doesn't concern me. There's, again, it's just tight head. It's just tight head. That's the problem. Like Miller-Mills.
I don't mind Miller-Mills.
I think he's fine. I think he's fine.
I also think he's fine. Like, is fine going to beat the All Blacks? Probably not. That's
I was going to do a Roy Kent. Don't you dare settle for fine. Yeah,
exactly.
But, I think
exactly. But when there's nobody else, we might have to say.
Yeah. Listen, it doesn't need to be Mr. Right. He's Mr. Right now in terms of the bench tight head spot.
Availability is the best ability.
That's you back at 0, by the way, McDonald. So any more, it'll be more in the doddy pot.
Yeah, I personally don't like Miller-Mills. I don't think he's. Yeah, I don't think he's much. But compared to Darcy Ray, he might be an absolute world beater. So
one thing I would say about the bench is, see, 5 years ago, if you'd said to me, a player as good in the back row as Rory Darge is going to be on the bench, and Andy Onyema-Christie and Jamie Ritchie are not even going to be in the squad at all, I'd have fucking shit myself laughing for how good the back row options are in Scotland at the minute. Like, that's one where I'm like, oh, we get to bring Rory Darge off the bench.
Yeah.
Do you think that's injury, though? Do you think that's because he's not 100%? I think if Darge had been 100%, I think him and Matt Fagerson would have swapped spots.
I don't know.
Or maybe Andy Onyema-Christie would have been instead of Matt F.
I like the idea of Fagerson at 7, though. It's one of those ones that we often use it at Glasgow against the bigger teams, the big South African boys, and we'll just go essentially 2 6s at the flanks, and then a ball carrying 8 and Dempsey. And that's exactly what we went for here. We're not looking to really compete at breakdown other than physically smash fuckers. And that's fine. That's a tactic. And actually, Townsend might have got this right. We'll see tomorrow, obviously, but that's a really good shout. Fagerson's a good 7.
I mean, the tragic thing is, with any other coach in the world, I would say it's really good coaching and analysis to put in Gregor Brown, because that All Blacks line-out looked shonky as fuck last week.
Yeah,
Gregor be all over it. I have so little faith in Gregor Townsend. I think possibly Gregor Brown's maybe just the first person that walked past his room the morning he was doing the team. Went, oh, fuck's that guy?
He was drinking a can of Red Bull as he walked past. That got the big.
Did I tell you my master plan? I reckon, because I am quite enamoured with the new defence coach, and obviously I will ride or die with Pete Horn until my very last day. So my plan is that at about 3:05 tomorrow afternoon, I'm going to make a hoax call to Murrayfield and say, could someone tell Gregor it's Red Bull on the phone and we've got his truck full of money, we've just put it in the basement. And then when he gets down there, someone could just lock the fucking door and we'll leave it to the other two.
Actually, it'd be even better. He'll get out the coaching box and be walking down, then he'll be like, Murrayfield doesn't have a basement.
And then he'll forget where he is and we'll be sorted.
Yeah.
He won't make his way back.
Yeah.
All right, listen, we've dribbled on for longer than we wanted to. I think the official party line, no Xander, no party.
No Xander, no party.
I think that probably took us from maybe somewhere in the region of a 5% chance of beating the All Blacks to between 1.5% and 2%. I think, two things could be true.
12.5% chance of winning with Xander. A 1 in 8, and I think we're down to 1 in 16 or even less.
I think two things could be true. I think this could be our best chance in a long time of beating the All Blacks, and also we're probably not going to beat the All Blacks. Anybody more confident than me?
In the end,
let's put you on the spot then, Alan. Have you got a score prediction for tomorrow afternoon?
All Blacks by 12.
John?
Yeah, I think it'll be somewhere in that region. I think we'll go All Blacks by 10.
Yeah, I'm maybe a little bit less optimistic than you two. I think somewhere in the sort of 12 to 15 range. I would love to be wrong. I do think, whether it's by luck or judgment, I know which way I would fall. I don't know about the rest of you. I think this is a well-picked team. I think there are some really big decisions being made in really big positions. Kyle Steyn and Gregor Brown are the obvious ones. Those are the right people in the right positions to beat the All Blacks if the opportunity arises. It's just whether that opportunity is going to come up or not.
Slightly controversial point. I actually don't think that Kyle Steyn's the big call that we think it is. I think it's been the plan for some time that he basically Duhan plays for everyone against everyone from England down, and Steyn plays for the All Blacks, Ireland, it's France, South Africa. I think it's just that injuries either to Darcy, Duhan, or both have made, or to Kyle Steyn, have meant that that's not. We've not seen that that's the pecking order. This is the first time everyone's been available. I think that's been pretty clear in Gregor's mind for a while.
I think we probably just need to embrace as well, just take a moment before we finish up, Johnny, to embrace the fact that this is all Tim fucking Visser's fault for turning up and scoring 2 tries against them like all those years ago. We talked about All Blacks teams getting better. It's Tim fucking Visser's fault. That's it. I'm nailing this mash right here. Tim fucking Visser. There you go.
Shall we leave it then on this note, John? We were right. Kyle Steyn is better.
Yeah.
And if we are going to beat the All Blacks, this is our chance. So 3:10 tomorrow afternoon, I'm assuming we'll all be sat down to watch it, and anything can happen on the day.
And if we beat the All Blacks, you're fucking welcome.
All donations to the Me and John Were Right Fund will be gratefully received. Listen, thank you too.
No, I want us to lose now. You're going to be insufferable, the pair of you. All we're going to see is just gleaming bald heads and the smiles.
And rightly so, because we'll have beaten the All Blacks. Listen, thank you both for taking some time out of your Friday afternoon to break down what might happen tomorrow. I appreciate your company as always. I hope that you, the Patreons, have enjoyed it. We obviously appreciate your company as always. And whatever happens tomorrow, have a great time. From myself, from John and Alan, thank you very much. We'll see you soon. Bye-bye.
Night all.
See you later.